This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And I'm Bill Bryant. We're glad you're with us on Thursday, April 14th. And there's big news this morning out of Frankfort.
Yes, there is. Now at 6 o'clock, a breakthrough with the state budget. Details from Frankfort on the compromises reached.
It came in the middle of the night. Also this morning, a man killed while out walking his dog in southern Kentucky. Why police have now charged the driver with his murder.
And good news for drivers as a major rock slide in Tennessee has finally been cleared.
We're in the 40s and 50s this morning, couple of 30s here and there. All in all, there is a chill in the air, but it's not as cold as where we have been. 69 by the afternoon. You gotta love that. And not only that, there is that small chance at a southern shower. I'll get into that coming up.
Okay, thank you. Let's get to the news.
A huge development in Frankfort this morning. Just 3 hours ago, lawmakers reached a deal on a new 2-year state budget.
They were racing the clock. Negotiators worked through the night until about 3 o'clock this morning when they announced a deal has been struck. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is joining us now with the breaking details this morning. Caitlin?
It was an extremely long day for lawmakers trying to strike a deal on the state budget. Now, it was just hours ago, Senate President Robert Stivers, House Speaker Greg Stumbo, and other leadership announced a deal had been reached. Legislative aides for Stivers and Stumbo said they spent the day in a private meeting discussing the budget. A budget conference committee didn't meet until around 10 o'clock Wednesday night. The largest disagreement had been cuts to higher education. Senator Stivers also noted problems agreeing how to spend Cole's severance funds and how much money to put into the state's pension program. After weeks of debate, they have a compromise. Lawmakers agreed to a 4.5% cut to funding for universities and colleges. Governor Bevin had originally proposed a 9% decrease. Now, Kentucky State University won't be included in those cuts, but the university president will have to come up with a road plan to turn the university around and present it to lawmakers.
It is an adequate and effective blend, I believe, of the priorities contained in both the governor's recommendation, the House budget, and the Senate budget.
I would agree with that. We have a strong contribution to the pension systems, a healthy budget reserve trust fund, and it sets forth the priorities of both chambers and with some input from the executive branch as to the priorities that we see going forward in the next 2 years.
Now, the legislative session doesn't end until Friday, but legislators had to strike a deal before then. That's because it takes around 30 hours to print off a bill so it can be voted on by both chambers. Governor Bevin released a statement thanking lawmakers, saying for the first time, Kentucky is investing in its pension system. Bill?
Caitlin, thank you very much. Obviously, a razor-thin margin here to get this done in time. It is important to note that because this budget was passed so late, the legislature will have no opportunity now to override any potential vetoes that Governor Bevin makes to the budget. He has line-item authority over that budget, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how the budget eventually shakes out. Now, here's a look at some of the bills that have been vetoed by Governor Bevin this session, and they are numerous. According to our partners at the Herald Leader, the bills include 2 mandatory expenditures from the judicial branch budget. That frees up more money for the courts. The governor also vetoed a bill that would have established a statewide Books for Brains program to hand out books to children. The governor said there was not enough money for that. Governor Bevin has signed a bill that creates one marriage license form for gay and straight couples in Kentucky. The new form will not have the name of the county clerk on it, and it will have the options of bride, groom, and spouse. The bill is in response to Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis, who refused to issue marriage licenses with her name on them to same-sex couples, citing her religious beliefs.
New this morning, we're getting our first look at the man accused of causing a deadly crash in Whitley County. Last night's crash happened on Highway 25 near Highland Park Drive in Williamsburg. The driver will be charged with murder. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk this morning. Mark, why is he being charged with murder?
Good morning, Michelle. Well, officers say that the driver will be charged with murder because he was intoxicated when he ran onto a sidewalk and killed a 53-year-old man who was out walking a dog. Now, the hit-and-run crash happened on Highway 25 in Williamsburg. Witnesses gave investigators a description of the car that hit Richard Perkins, and then just a few minutes later, that same car was involved in another crash, this time on Highway 92, about 6 miles east of the city. Police say the driver, 31-year-old Adam Childless, was injured in the crash. He has been taken to the hospital, but when he is released, he will be arrested and charged with murder. Investigators who are going over the crash scene think Childless drove up to the length of half of a football field on that sidewalk before he crashed into the 53-year-old.
It appears the vehicle veered off 25 onto the sidewalk, traveled about 150 feet, and struck the victim.
Perkins' dog was hurt in the crash, but it is expected to recover. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Thank you, Mark. 3 people have been indicted for a string of crimes around Lexington. Benjamin Huntsinger, Jordan Gibson, and Candace Tolliver all face multiple charges, including burglary, receiving stolen property, and fraud. Investigators say the crimes included stealing cars and breaking into homes. Lexington police think this is part of a larger crime ring and say more arrests are possible.
The retrial of a man accused of killing 5 people in Leslie County has been delayed until next year. In 2004, police say Clayton Jackson killed Chris and Amanda Sturgill and then set their home on fire, which killed the couple's 3 children. A jury convicted Jackson of the children's deaths in 2011, but the state Supreme Court later threw out the conviction because a juror was a friend of a victim's brother. Jury selection for a new trial started this week, but court officials say after some new motions were filed, the trial has now been delayed until next April.
A Lincoln County man accused of killing his dog says it was just an accident. Investigators say Jasper Jesse's dog died after being stomped on. He's charged with animal cruelty. Jesse says the dog started chewing and scratching on a chair, so he tried to move her. But moments later, he says the dog ended up under a recliner and died. From jail, he told us he doesn't know how to explain what happened.
They must have got a hold of rat poison or something, because I mean, I was still stunned. I didn't really know what I'd say or do.
Police say the dog was taken to the UK vet lab and the cause of death was ruled as blunt force trauma. According to court records, Jesse admitted to police that he killed the dog in anger. More than a month later, and all lanes of I-75 in northern Tennessee are open after a major rock slide. One northbound lane reopened south of Jellicoe a few weeks ago. The Tennessee Department of Transportation says the other lane reopened last night. The rock slide damaged that stretch of I-75 in late February. Crews have been working since then to repair the damage and stabilize a nearby hill.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Pretty nice start to the day. I'm not really seeing any issues whatsoever. We travel off into your afternoon and we'll be upper 60s, lower 70s. An awesome day in store. However, there is a very slight chance of rain. You got to go to the far southern half of our viewing area into the Cumberland region. But for the most part, even that area, you're still talking 20–30%. So just not seeing a great chance of rain today, nor anytime soon. Temperatures, 42 now in Lexington. It's definitely not as cold as where we have been the past few mornings, but it's still chilly enough you'll need that coat before you take off. In the 30s there in Boyle County, Danville, Junction City, Perryville. Good morning to you guys. Bradfordsville, just to the west of you guys, and also Springfield in Washington County. Go northbound off into Cynthiana and also Paris, North Middletown. Mount Sterling, 43 degrees there in Montgomery County, Owingsville, and off into Hillsboro. We're looking good as you travel up Highway 11 all the way through Flemingsburg, and just not seeing much going on. Yeah, it's chilly, but for the most part, we're most of us staying in the 40s. Getting in towards your afternoon, 69 degrees. Then we're looking at a few clouds filtering on in. However, like I said, most of us, about 80% of us, stay dry. That other 20% is to the Cumberland area, the Adair County, Russell County, and then work your way over towards, say, Casey, Pulaski, and south of that into Wayne County, Clinton County. Those areas have the best shot at maybe a passing shower. And I say maybe, that's no slam dunk. I'm just saying that's the best area that we could see a stray shower or two. So what to expect on Friday into your weekend? Big game going on there on Saturday. Also Keeneland, you got Kite Fest out at Jacobson Park. You got some of these marinas opening up. You got a lot going on, and it is perfect weather. We are going to be 30 degrees above where we were just last weekend. So this weekend, 30 degrees above where we were last weekend. Last weekend was cold. This weekend, not so much. In the 70s, you got to love it. Low to mid 70s, and maybe even some upper 70s as we travel toward your Sunday. Everyone stays dry. Nobody has a chance of rain, and it's perfect for all outdoor events. If you don't have any events going on, just go ahead and make some. You better go ahead and make some because it's perfect weather for it as we continue just to get off towards your weekend. So all in all, it's really all not that bad. We're talking about current traffic sitting there at current traffic. Holding on to, looking pretty good outside. So things are looking pretty good. Here I go with my clicker again. Fast forwarding it too many times. I'm like, go back. No, go forward. But we're here now.
Well, the point is good weather.
Yeah,
you know, we're going to enjoy
absolutely.
that. Nice sunshine the next several days, and it's a nice trend. Time this morning is 6:10, and every morning we bring you weather and traffic together. Here's Officer Don with a look at what's happening on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Now, Micah, you can click that button and get the traffic map up, and we'll talk all about that. There are no wrecks right now, but we're doing okay on the inner and outer loops of the circle, also inbound Nicholasville Road. Normal stuff happening this morning, and a live look at Lexington rush hour traffic and traffic flow, which, as I said, in pretty good shape. As far as the drive times are concerned, shouldn't have any problems coming in from Nicholasville for now. Pretty light to deal with, 12 to 14 minutes. No problems on Richmond Road either. Looks good inbound past the circle and all that and toward downtown. We'll keep you up to date throughout the morning. Now back to you.
Okay, we know you will, and we appreciate you. And, of course, Officer Don and Deanna are out there on 98.1 The Bull right now having some fun, so listen in on your way in. We have a lot more news, though, coming up for you on WKYT on your Thursday morning.
A battle in Brooklyn. Democrat presidential hopefuls prepare for what could be a high-stakes debate in New York.
And after 20 seasons in the NBA, a memorable career, LA Laker Kobe Bryant takes his final shots. That and more coming up. Our time this morning is 6:11. We'll be right back.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:15, and we're glad you're with us today on WKYT on this Thursday with some good-looking weather on the way and the weekend close at hand.
Everyone's looking forward to the weekend, right?
Absolutely. In the news this morning, the Centers for Disease Control says there is direct evidence that the Zika virus causes birth defects.
That includes microcephaly, a condition where a baby's head is abnormally small. Zika is spread primarily through mosquito bites, but can also be transmitted through sexual contact. There currently is no vaccine for treatment for the virus, which is spreading through Latin America. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are ready to face off in Brooklyn. The Democratic presidential contenders will participate in their 8th debate this evening at the Brooklyn Naval Yard. New York's primary is on Tuesday. The latest poll shows Clinton has a 10-point lead over Sanders in New York.
The nation's top education official says schools need to get back to giving children a well-rounded education. In a speech planned for today in Las Vegas, Education Secretary John King Jr. says some schools have focused too heavily on reading and math under the 2002 No Child Left Behind law. But he says with a new federal education law in place, it is time to once again embrace science, social studies, and the arts as well. Well, it was a big night in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors became the first team to win 73 games in a season, beating the Memphis Grizzlies 125-104 last night. And the LA Lakers' Kobe Bryant played his final game before going into retirement. He scored 60 points in the Lakers' victory over Utah.
What an impressive player. Your time now is 6:17. Speaking of Kobe Bryant, this may be the most expensive set of hats ever made. In honor of Bryant's retirement, New Era is selling 2 custom caps made with lambskin and Bryant's number in 24-karat gold for more than $38,000. There could be a major expansion in the recall of faulty Takata airbags that explode with too much force. The nation's highway safety watchdog now says airbag inflators in 85 million more cars and trucks on U.S. roads need to be replaced unless Takata can prove they are safe. The Verizon strike is now going into its 2nd day. Almost 40,000 workers walked off the job yesterday when negotiation talks failed. The strike could affect service in Verizon's internet, telephone, and TV services along the East Coast. Wireless customers are not affected. Verizon says it trained non-union workers to fill in during the strike. Think your job stinks? Well, a new report names newspaper reporter as the worst job in America for a 3rd year in a row. And what we do for a living, broadcasting, is the 3rd worst. Things like pay, stress, tough hours, and declining job opportunities are the big reasons why.
I'll go talk to those folks who were covering the state budget until 3 o'clock this morning and then had to write their stories, right? They might have something to say about that. Maybe they'll
It's
get
all about passion, Bill.
That's
it's
right.
About the passion.
They might get a little nap in later today. 6:18 on WKYT. Hope you follow your passion on this Thursday. Hey, we're just getting started with the latest news. A photographer gets a close look, a personal up-close look at the object he was shooting. The object, believe it or not, a plane coming in for a landing. You'll see that story in just a few minutes here.
Incredible video, incredible. More nice days ahead. We're going to have that traveling off into your weekend. Chilly this morning, but extremely nice this afternoon. I'm going to show you a good looking forecast coming up.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Your time is 6:22. Kentucky's legislative leaders have agreed to a 2-year operating budget.
That deal announced at 3 o'clock this morning, and that's what's trending at this hour as the story is still breaking. The budget deal will pay the community college tuition for all Kentucky high school graduates while spending more than $1 billion on the state's public pension debt. Governor Matt Bevins, of course, has the final say on the deal. He has the veto pen.
Police in Whitley County have charged Adam Childress with murder. They say he was under the influence when he crashed his car into 53-year-old Richard Perkins, who was walking his dog along Highway 25 in Williamsburg.
We are expecting some wonderful weather as we head toward the weekend and for the next several days. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Keyword several. Not a couple, not few, but several. I mean, it takes you off into 7 to 14 days out. No shot at cold air and no big chance of rain anytime soon. We're looking at a small chance later on this afternoon. Far southern half, you go south of the Cumberland Parkway. That's probably your best bet. But other than that, I mean, we're really nice day in store. 41 degrees right now, and Somerset, it is quite chilly in some spots, but remember, not as cold as the past couple of mornings. Grab that light coat before you take off. 43 degrees now in Mount Sterling and 48 right now in Jackson. This will take you through the day, heading out to plans, maybe out to lunch with a friend. 63 degrees. 63 is still kind of on the verge of patio weather or maybe sit inside. But you know what? Once we hit the afternoon at 5 p.m., maybe dinner time, early dinner, that's patio weather. 70 degrees. But don't forget, can't rule out a southern shower. Far southern half, if you get toward the Tennessee and Kentucky border, that's probably your best bet. Guys?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, there are close calls, and then there are very close calls.
A photographer on the island of St. Bart was hit by a small plane. Watch that, check that out as it came in for landing. He said he could barely feel it, but was left with a black mark from the plane's wheel. The airport is known for low approaches, and tourists often go in for a close-up shot. Well, he got his.
He sure did.
Were you, by any chance, in a restricted area?
No, not at all. It was a public road, and I see people either stopping with their vehicles there all the time or just standing there all the time.
And here's the picture the photog ended up with. Hope it was worth it.
Right. And you thought it was close when they come in over I-75 around Cincinnati. They're in northern Kentucky. You know?
Nothing compared to that, right?
Not that. Or even out, you know, on Versailles Road in Lexington. But, yeah, you don't get that kind of close call. 6:25 here in a couple of seconds, and it's good to have you with us here on WKYT This Morning.
When WKYT This Morning returns, the Kentucky Derby is still weeks away, but the hardware for the first place finisher has already arrived to Churchill Downs.
We'll check out that big trophy, and Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $80 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $205 million. Kentucky mornings start here on WKYT.